you think that's something that will help you guys or hurt you guys trying to campaign against an issue that you just mentioned may or may not be on the ballot? But even if it is, you'll only have so much time to campaign against that. Do you think that's something that will hurt or help you guys?
My answer to that, she asked if it will help or hurt us, that we have a short time frame. My answer is yes. That it will help us and it will hurt us. And here's what I mean. So 2 years ago, by this time, the marijuana industry had spent, I think, almost $13 million on advertising. That hasn't been the case this time, has it? And so, in that regard, I suppose that's helpful. But also, this time 2 years ago, we already knew that the measure was going to be on the ballot, and we were out doing press conferences and touring and spreading material out in churches and all that. We had more time. And so that was an advantage for us. And so I can't answer for sure which it is. It's both. It's double-edged. I think it's incredibly unfair, and it's not anybody's fault that we're in this situation where we're on the eve of early voting. We still don't know if some measures are actually going to qualify or not, and that makes it very, very difficult on both sides. Yes?
You mentioned access and people who want medical marijuana can get it. Supporters of the amendment say that it would be helpful to people in rural areas, people with low income, those who can't travel to get the card. What's your comment on that?
I was thinking about that. I don't know if you heard the question, but it's about people in rural areas not maybe having access to be able to get medical marijuana. I find it interesting that they say access is a problem, and yet this amendment does not expand the number of dispensaries where you can get medical marijuana. It locks it down tighter than a drum that you can only do 40 stores statewide. So this will ensure that there's a lack of access, because the current store owners and growers want to be the only ones who get to do this. That's how the measure is written. And so that may play well in a soundbite, but if you look at what the measure does, it doesn't expand the availability. It doesn't expand the number of dispensaries and places where people could actually buy it. So I find that rather ironic.
Is the ruling in the casino amendment lawsuit about the sponsor and how Kansas can sign the affidavits on paid canvassers, is that an indication that the Supreme Court is going to side with the pro-marijuana side in that lawsuit? Is that an indication to you that it will make the ballot?
I don't know if you all heard. He was asking the ruling the other day in the casino measure and the technicalities with their paperwork. How might that impact the legal challenges on on issue 3, the marijuana measure? And I think it does give us an indication about how the court might rule on what shall we call this, the paperwork technicalities. But there's another legal challenge regarding the marijuana measure, regarding issue 3, and that is a challenge to the ballot title. And that is a separate issue that I think has a lot of merit to it, because that challenge essentially says the voter is not receiving enough information about the measure in the summary that they'll see when they go to vote, that is inadequate, and therefore the measure should be disqualified. So that's a totally different issue that I think the court will certainly rule on. And so I do think the measure is flawed in that area. Okay. All right, guys. Thanks for coming. If you have any questions, I'll be here for a little bit. And I appreciate you guys taking the time to be here. Stay tuned.